Oh, so beautiful out here today. Look at this sunshine, man. But I want to talk about one of LeBron's biggest cronies, Nick Wright. Now, he recently, a couple of days ago, got owned by none other than Chris Broussard. Okay? And it's funny because Nick Wright is not only a LeBron apologist, but a lot of his arguments make no sense, and he don't have real substance to back up none of his claims. But nevertheless, take a look at how Chris Broussard put Nick wrong in his place. Check it out.
So let's just go through it, okay? So post Dallas, the first year he won the title. The next year, he won the title. The next year, you said they had the best team in basketball. I do not think that year they had the best team in basketball, not with Dwayne Wade in the position he was in. LeBron, in the finals, gave you 28 a game on 58% shooting and 51% from three. Hold on. Just wait a second. And they lost in 5. They got blown out of that series. So let's set that one aside and we can argue about it in a moment. The next year
I set it aside. It happened.
No. I just want to go through it.
It was an old San Antonio team. Tim Duncan wasn't
so
close
you think
to his
LeBron
prime.
could have done
and Tony
more?
Parker and
so
Mountain were hovering on their prime.
So you think in 2014,
if we just want to throw out
LeBron went.
Nick, if we just want to throw out numbers, let's talk about Wilt Chamberlain.
No.
Okay, if we just want to start throwing out incredible numbers, we can bring Wilt into the conversation.
I'm not trying to throw out numbers. I'm asking you an honest question. When the Heat lost in 5, 3 of those losses in blowout fashion, and LeBron, by any objective standard, played very well, you think he could have done more? You think there's a player that you could have inserted? All the other things are the same. That you remove LeBron and put Jordan there, and instead of losing in 5, they win the series. I don't think you actually believe that. That's why I wanted to go year.
Hold up, stop the press. You said what more LeBron could have done? He could have actually played real, efficient, so-called basketball, not stat padding and so-called blowout games, as you just described, Nick. Now you're making a fool of yourself. You just shot yourself in the foot. The excuse is, that year the Spurs were unbeatable. The Spurs were on a mission. Well, if the Spurs were so-called on a mission, why wasn't LeBron James on the mission? I mean, you only have a chance to make history and have a three-peat. That's not enough motivation for you? Maybe you shouldn't be playing basketball then.
By year. Nick, the next year, they lost. Hold on. The next year, Brew, he was 36, 13, and 9. And they lost in 6 when Kyrie and Kevin Love went down. The next year, they won. And then there was the 2 years they lost 4-0 and 4-1 to Golden State. We showed you the numbers because it's the most talented team ever. And the only other healthy year he's had, he won the title since then. So my question is, what's the year that you could have replaced LeBron with Jordan and they win the title post Dallas? Is there a year? Do you believe there's a year?
Nick, you're dealing with hypotheticals and theories and fantasies and what ifs. I'm dealing with facts. You're bringing feelings to a fact fight. I'm dealing with the fact that we never saw Michael Jordan lose in the finals. We never even saw him push to 7 games. All right? I believe Michael Jordan would have, would he have won all of those finals that LeBron lost? I don't know, but we don't know. We can't, it's like Kobe said, we can't answer some of these things. So let's deal with what we do know. What we do know is that Michael Jordan dominated the league in a way that LeBron hasn't. Whether it's individual numbers, led the league in scoring 10 years. Whether it's defying conventional wisdom. When Jordan came into the league, the view was you could not lead the league in scoring and win championships. Larry Bird never did it. Wilt Chamberlain never did it. Kareem may have done it once. Jordan defied that. The view was you couldn't build a dynasty around a 2-guard. Jordan defied that. I mean, Jordan locked down the entire league when LeBron locked down one conference.
Ooh, look at that, bro. Open grass. So, you saw how Nick Wright was trying to go at this debate. He was trying to go at it with a numbers perspective first. The same thing an average LeBron crony would talk about. Stats, stats, stats. But then when Chris Broussard flipped the table on him and start talking about Wilt Chamberlain, who has way more better stats than LeBron James could only dream about, he switches it and says, oh, it's not about the numbers. Okay, so it's not about the numbers no more because your argument not holding no more weight. And here's something that Nick Wright don't understand. Some of the biggest stat stuffers in NBA history have lost on the biggest stage a lot more than guys that don't care about stats. You know, the guys that just looking to win basketball games by all means necessary, they're the ones that's more successful than stat stuffers. Oscar Robertson, underachiever. Wilt Chamberlain, underachiever. LeBron James, underachiever. Jerry West, underachiever. Okay? All these stat stuffers, these guys that average stats first, winning second. LeBron James is a stat stuffer. Okay? And you switch the argument to 2014 San Antonio Spurs. Oh, that's the same series when Kawhi Leonard shut down LeBron. The same series where Kawhi Leonard made LeBron James' field goal percentage drop. Mainly because LeBron James was shook and scared to shoot the basketball. He went into passive mode. And when he start passing, he start leading his team in turnovers. Okay? A lot of those turnovers that was taking place in that series was because of LeBron James. He had the ball in his hands. So he got scared when Kawhi Leonard was guarding him, didn't want any smoke. So he started passing the ball mostly. All right? That's not the sign of a guy that trying to win a basketball game. It's the same team that you beat last season. So don't tell me the San Antonio Spurs, a year later, older, is so much better than you, okay? That's bullshit. You beat that very same team last year. So if you beat one team last year, you could beat them the next year, all right? I don't want to hear no excuses, all right? You guys lost. And mainly you lost because LeBron James didn't want no smoke with Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard was the X factor. He was the young guy that's not even in his prime. And you couldn't stop him? You couldn't put your foot on his neck? Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's flat out crazy. So how are you better than Michael Jordan if you can't even do that? You already have two blunders, 2011 and 2014. You got more, but that's so far of what I'm just talking about. So you left those two championships on the table. Then you switch the argument to what ifs. Okay, that's what a lot of LeBron fans do. You guys go to the what if category because you can't have no factual opinions. Okay, you have to switch to what ifs because LeBron James has a less oppressive resume than Michael Jordan. So the fact that he keeps coming up short compared to Mike, you got to do what ifs. Oh, Jordan never faced these guys in the finals. Well, guess what? LeBron James never faced Michael Jordan's competition all year round. Michael Jordan beat more 50-win teams, beat more 60-win teams, and he played lesser time than you, LeBron. All right, if you go into the finals that much times, shouldn't your road to the finals be a little more tougher? Oh, I forgot, you was playing in the Eastern Conference, right? Teams below 500, where you had a great monopoly over them. You only could win with a good margin of superstars on your side. So common logic says if Michael Jordan had numerous stars on his side, they will win championships more. Let's put this into context, like you guys keep saying, right? Well, context is we doing what ifs, because that's what you do. If Michael Jordan didn't retire, he probably would have more championships, right? Since we're doing what ifs, all right? You don't know what team Jordan would have beaten, what team he would have lost to. But I could tell you this much. If Michael Jordan been to the finals 10 times, I extremely, heavily doubt that he would be 4-6. Okay? The fact that he won 6 already, even if he lost 4, that makes him 6-4. Okay? So you could miss me with that. There's no way Michael Jordan will lead those amount of championships that LeBron James left on the table. Okay? So I don't want to hear that nonsense that you can't win. Oh, because the talent level of who you've been facing was so big. No, you came up short because you didn't want smoke with a lot of these guys. You can make the same case for 2017. You had your big three. The Warriors had their big three. Then they had Draymond Scrub, who was a role player, only averaging 10 points a game. You had several role players that averaged 10 points a game. Y'all was evenly matched. You just didn't bought the heat, LeBron. You submitted to KD. He was pulling up from dirty in your face. Okay? So that defeats that competition narrative. Then there's the individual player narrative. All right. And that's a funny one because that one is, well, it goes back again to stats. Well, Jordan has a higher scoring average than LeBron James in the regular season, a higher scoring average than LeBron James in the postseason. Let's talk about stats since you guys love them so much. Jordan has a higher PER on defense and offense than LeBron James. Jordan has 5 MVPs. Jordan has 9 first-time all-defense. 3 times he led the league in steals. And he's a defensive player of the year. LeBron James don't get that. Michael Jordan's also a better scorer on face value. He's led the league in scoring 10 times. Okay? LeBron only once. So, how in the hell on God's green earth is LeBron James better than Michael Jordan when there is absolutely, positively, no factual information to state that LeBron James is better than Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan scrapes the plate against LeBron James. And I wish it wasn't like this. I wish it was a little more competitive. But you could tell that this is a media-driven thing. You could tell that the media is only doing this for money because they know that LeBron don't hold that much weight. All right? If you want to compare LeBron to anybody, compare him to the stat stuffers that lost the same amount of finals. All right? The Jerry Wesses, the Wilt Chamberlains. Okay? Won't you be like that? You can't be like Mike no more because you keep losing. And your resume is light, dog. You're a little light in the pockets. You're a dollar short and a day late. I'm sorry, brother. I mean, that's just the way it is. And I like LeBron James. But I'm not going to sit here and cap and lie for a guy that repeatedly came up short. You know, as simple as that. If you're the so-called GOAT and you playing with more talent, but you still can't win as much, to me, that's overachieving. There's no way in hell that Michael Jordan would have lost that much championships if he had superstars to the amount of that LeBron James has had. Top 5 players. Come on, dog. All-time great players, like top 3 greatest shooting guard of all time. Anthony Davis, one of the greatest power forwards of all time. Come on, man. You play with all this talent. Shit. And yeah, you still can't win more championships? And you had an edge over Michael Jordan in terms of coming to the league. You got drafted from high school. If you was to tell me I could go to 10 NBA finals, get drafted from high school, and do all this other stuff I could play 20 years, that's more than enough time for me to try to surpass Michael Jordan, you know? But you didn't put the extra caveat on it. What if you kept losing? Yeah, because winning actually matters, man. Press Sports out. I'm glad somebody like Chris Broussard was here to drop some knowledge, some facts on Nick Rome. Press Sports out. Peace.